Hi, I'm Kayla Baca, and I did my service learning project within the senior community with Meals on Wheels. I delivered home meals to homebound individuals for a couple weeks, and I got to experience the senior community and how we make assumptions and analyze how we treat them. And I got to talk to some of them and how they feel. And I know for a fact that elders do feel like we treat them differently, that they can't do things, and they very much can. And we need to get out of that mindset that we have developed over time in order to move forward with how we treat elders, because they don't want to be treated like they're children, because they're not children anymore, like they're adults. Just because they get older doesn't mean they can't do things, and they very much want that social interaction still, and they still want to be able to do things on their own, and some of them are embarrassed that they can't do certain things. And when we make assumptions and we jump to conclusions, it makes them feel even worse over time. And we have to be very aware of how we're treating them, because if we treat them like they can't do it, it makes them feel bad emotionally, and it hurts their self-esteem. It's just like it would hurt anybody's self-esteem if you said you couldn't do something. And that's false. Elders can do everything else that everybody else can do. And that's what I learned when I went into those homes. And I know that I talked to this older gentleman, and he told me that he feels as though the youth makes him feel like he's incapable of doing things, and that he can't have that social interaction because he's homebound. And he wants so badly to have those friends and those connections because it's important. And I know we discussed that in class last time, how important it is to have those social interactions as you get older, because it gives you a lot of purpose to have it. Even as a youth, like, you don't want to be alone. So the more social interaction you have, the better for a longer period of time. It's great. And I know that he felt like he was being secluded from that, and he didn't really have a means of going about it. So being in these senior communities, it's nice for them because they have that interaction, they have activities that they can do, and it's given them the opportunity. Because yes, as they get older, they're losing those opportunities to meet other people and to gain those social interactions, because their friends start passing and their significant other may pass, and focusing in on their social interaction with others is key. It's so imperative because it's a direct link to their happiness. And just me delivering the meals was an interaction. I would stand there and we would talk and we would discuss things, and I got to know some of them really well, and it was a great interpersonal communication between us both. And they need that. They need that socializing, and they need to know that people still want to communicate with them. They're not sitting by themselves. And if you haven't done Meals on Wheels, I would highly suggest it. It's an amazing opportunity, and you get to meet some amazing people. And just because they're homebound doesn't mean they can't do anything. Some of them are in wheelchairs, and they do require more help than others, but they're still there. And if you talk to them and you communicate with them, you realize over time that just because they're older doesn't mean they can't do anything. That's the biggest thing about this video, is I want people to know that as you get older, you can still do things. And I know that we have this in our mindset that they can't, and we're constantly helping them up the stairs. Like, as soon as you hit a certain age, you can't use stairs. For some reason, it's ingrained in us. And I know sometimes it is dangerous, but just because we think they can't do it doesn't mean they can do it. And we should let them have the independence, because we as youth want the independence. And you see it in early childhood all the time. They want independence too. So why are you going to take that away from somebody who's older and they've lived their life and they understand that you're trying to take away their independence? And when I was talking to one of them, they mentioned it's like almost elder abuse. They feel like that's what it is. So being more mindful and empathetic towards their situation. Nobody likes sympathy. So being empathetic is key. In this profession, in any profession, it is so important, because if you're empathetic towards others, you'll feel and you'll understand what they are going through. And right now, they feel like they are being emotionally abused, and that's not fair. So that was my biggest takeaway, and that was like analyzing the whole situation. That's what I got out of it. And it's so important to understand that, because it'll make them happier. And if we can get out into the community and interact with them more, it'll make them feel better about themselves. So I really wanted to zone in on that part, because it really hit home last time we met as a group when we had the elder talk. And I was like, hey, yeah, like, I'm going to use Meals on Wheels. So it worked out really perfect. So thank you. And I will be sharing this in class. Bye.